A few weeks ago, Ezra Ngirmekur was working on the roof of his one-story home in Dededo when he fell off, falling about 10 feet, hitting the right side of his head on the concrete ground below.
And I was stepping to the ladder, and suddenly the ladder, so I fell down to the floor. I looked like maybe this side hit concrete.
Were you knocked out?
I was knocked out, but I just lost my memory. I didn't know what happened to me.
Mr. Ngirmekur felt dizzy after the fall and he came to GRMC. There was no serious bruising on the outside of his skull. A scan showed no immediate damage inside. Medication and monitoring was prescribed. A follow-up visit was advised. A native Palauan, English is his second language, but in the days that followed, his speaking ability became increasingly worse in both languages.
It looked like I didn't complete a sentence. So sometimes I talk and then I give up talking. My son, Robert, says, "Papa, you have to go to the hospital because you look like you're different."
GRMC Neurosurgeon Dr. David Weingarten was called in to examine Mr. Ngirmekur.
To almost anything you asked him, whether you're asking him for the date or where he was or anything like that, he would try to say it's like he could do marginally better in his native language, Palauan. But even when his son spoke to him in Palauan, he still was not able to effectively follow commands. You ask him to smile, he couldn't really. It's not that he couldn't smile, he just couldn't understand that you were asking him to smile.
Another brain scan was done and showed that blood had begun to accumulate on the side of Mr. Ngirmekur's head, opposite from the side which struck the concrete.
So I could immediately see that he had a large amount of blood pushing on his brain and that it was really shifting the contents of his head over to one side. Sure, there's a phenomenon called coup and contre-coup injuries. The coup is the side at which you are struck. Contre-coup is the opposite side. And simply because of the way the brain tends to move around in the head when it is struck, you can frequently get bruising or bleeding actually on the opposite side where you're struck.
The cure was a relatively simple, minimally invasive procedure.
We did it at the bedside in the emergency department. Didn't have to take him to the operating room, didn't have to put him under anesthesia. We were able to just numb up his scalp and do it with a very small incision. Drilled a small hole in it about the size of the tip of a pencil, and then inserted a catheter into the blood clot, and then I had him lay flat for almost 36 hours. And so by laying flat, essentially the brain is more able to re-expand and occupy that space again.
Where does the blood go?
So then the blood comes out through the catheter.
Oh,
yeah,
so
but it comes out passively. So rather than actively sucking it out, we have to passively allow it to drain out.
What's his proper prognosis now?
I think it's excellent. I think that he has essentially completely resolved. He's able to speak extremely well now. He feels normal. We'll need to have him do some physical therapy and make sure that his balance is good and that he's able to walk safely. But I anticipate that, well, I don't even have to anticipate. He's already had a full recovery, essentially.
I feel very good now. Thank you very much, doctor. I never believed that I'm gonna meet a doctor like him. He's really helped me, and I'm very thankful for it. It's gonna be in my heart now that doctor is really helped me. Never forget.
It's a pleasure.